So stay with me on this. University is starting to feel like one of the biggest scams of our time. And I don't say that lightly. I used to defend it. Like even the other day, I'd say things like, if you want to be a doctor, lawyer, vet, architect, fair enough, you need a degree. But now, that's changed. And it's not changed for the better. Let's look at the reality for a second. The average person leaves university with about 45 grand of debt. Okay? That's 15 grand a year for the privilege of sitting in a lecture hall, reading from a textbook that you could probably have got for, let's say, 20 quid. And what do you get for it? You get a starting salary of around 26 grand a year. If you can get a job. And that's a big if. Because it actually takes the average graduate more than 6 months to land their first role. Did you know that? And when they start paying back their loan, most of it is interest. Bet you didn't know that either. In the first few years, about 80% of your repayments are just going on interest. They're hardly touching the amount that you owe. And here's the bit that really, really stings. Employers don't value degrees like they used to. Some don't even value them at all. I saw a job listing the other day and it wanted somebody with a 5-year master's degree. Yeah, really highly qualified. But do you know how much it paid? $15.29 an hour. So that's about 12 quid an hour, or in other words, minimum wage. That's crazy. So you could end up with 75 grand's worth of debt for a job that pays you minimum wage, and you could get it without a degree in the first place. I mean, this is just crazy. The degrees themselves, half of them aren't linked to careers either. We've got degrees in puppetry. I wish I was making that up. I'm not. Imagine telling your parents you've racked up 50 grand's worth of debt for a puppetry degree. I mean, what's the plan there, really? Birthday parties? Street performances? I mean, come on. Here's the thing. I'm not saying education's bad. In fact, I actually believe education is the single biggest factor in changing your life. But education and university are two completely different things. Education means learning skills that actually make you money. It gives you options, and it also needs to put you in control. University, on the other hand, often means learning outdated theory, being taught by people who haven't worked in the field for decades, or even if at all. I know a lecturer in business at a local university who's never even run a business. I mean, how valuable is that really? And then it also means starting off life, as an adult, out on your own, with a mountain of debt, having learnt from people who only know theory and have never deployed it. And here's what no one else really tells you. That 45k of student debt, that's not just debt. It's the years of lost earnings. The years of lost earnings whilst you were studying instead of working, instead of building something, and instead of investing. 3 or 4 years where you could have been stacking up your savings, starting a business, or buying your first property. It's the opportunity cost that most people overlook. Let's break that down for a second. If instead of going to university you worked for 4 years and you managed to save 5 grand a year, it's not a huge amount. You'd have 20 grand in the bank. Right now, that's a deposit on a buy-to-let house in many parts of the UK. Yeah? That is a property making you income every single month and going up in value over time too. Meanwhile, that graduate still hasn't paid off their first year's worth of interest. Plus, they're starting to realise that things in the real world don't exactly work like the theory says. Now, if you generally want to, I don't know, be a doctor or a lawyer, then you've got to go through the uni system. And to be fair, I want you to. But if your goal is to earn good money, create financial freedom, and not be stuck in a job you hate for 40 plus years, there are faster, cheaper, and smarter routes. So here's what I'd do instead. So first, you could get an apprenticeship, pick up a valuable trade, which are going to become even more valuable with all of the AI technology that's coming along. You know, I mean, plumbers, electricians, engineers, they often earn way more than graduates. 2, you could work directly for an entrepreneur. You could learn by doing that way more in 6 months about money, people, opportunity, and business than 3 years of lectures. Or 3, you could start a side hustle. You could also invest in property, you know, while your expenses and your outgoings are still relatively low. Because the truth is, the richest people, the people I know, didn't get there by following the go to uni, get a job, work hard and retire path. They didn't. They got there by learning high value skills, taking calculated risks, and putting their money into assets that paid them every single month. And that's exactly what we do inside property school. It's not theory for theory's sake. It's step-by-step training on how to get into property, even if you're starting from zero. It's about how to find the best deals, how to fund them, even if you've got no savings yourself, how to build passive income that replaces your job. And it costs just less than the price of a takeaway or a coffee a month. Yeah, how many coffees have you bought this month? Well, the membership costs just one of those every month, that's it. So, while some people are spending 45k to get a piece of paper, because that's all it is, piece of paper that might not even get you a job, you could be learning skills that make, I don't know, 500, 1,000, 2,000 pounds a month from property, even more. You could be building a portfolio that grows in value each and every year. You could be buying back your time so you're not stuck in the rat race. And I'm going to invite you now to just come check us out. Like I say, it's less than the price of a coffee. You can go to property.school/go. That's property.school/go. Let me share it on the screen. Property.school/go. There we go. Click the link. Come join us. Come check us out. Because if it's not for you, you can just cancel any time anyway. There's no ongoing contracts. But I really want you to start learning the skills that actually change your life, instead of paying for outdated education that leaves you in debt. It's about the numbers in your bank account. So the sooner you start, the sooner those numbers can start going up. Click the link, property.school/go. Come check us out, and I'll see you inside.